Good evening, everyone. It's Moneyflip, Sunday night, about 7:30 p.m., December the 20th, 2015. So first thing first, before I get into the charts and that kind of stuff, I want to go over what everyone talks about with the January effect or the Santa rally. So what I did was just did a simple Google search, which anyone can do, and I pulled up the one from CNBC. So I'll just read this shortly. Every year at this time comes the discussion of whether stocks are a good buy in January. The so-called January effect describes a hypothesis, note hypothesis, that stocks go up at the beginning of the year because investors want to start buying again, possibly as a result of tax-related sales in December. This effect considers that small cap stocks, duly noted, are most likely to see a boost, as they are owned by a higher proportion of individual retail investors. These investors, which is us, retail investors, supposedly are more likely to be selling in December and buying again in January. Much research has gone into proving whether or not the January effect is real, or whether it's predictable, or whether it's worth the trading cost associated with it, or whether the effect already starts in December because everybody knows it's coming in January anyway. Okay, so this is your synopsis of the January effect. So most people supposedly are going to do end of the tax year selling and then buying in January. So I just wanted to go over that. Also, let's go over to Investopedia. Sorry for the ad. Nothing's free on the internet without ads. Definition of Santa Claus rally. A surge in the price of stocks that often occurs in the week between Christmas, so starting after Friday, so not this week, according to this, next week, between Christmas and New Year's Day. There are numerous explanations for the Santa Claus rally phenomenon, including tax considerations, happiness around Wall Street, people investing in their Christmas bonuses, and the fact that the pessimists are usually on vacation this week. So now you have the January effect and what is called the Santa Claus rally. Just something that I feel like people should know. Here we go. I wanted to look at SPY first. Okay. So on the left, I have a weekly. On the right, I have a daily. Okay. Now, I love to compare these because I'm a swing trader. I do intraday, and when I swing, that can be one night. So, I mean, that's still a swing, okay? SPY looks like it's ready to bounce, okay? Look here on the daily. Pretty much at the 50% retracement on the fib level, okay? 50% and 618 are crucial, all right? If the SPY closes down under 200 tomorrow, that's going to have me worried. That's going to have me thinking that we could come all the way back down. Not all the way back to 187s, but I feel like we could probably come on back and touch 195 or something like that. What I do want you to watch going forward is a bear market starting, okay? I'm still a bull, but I'm going to be locked into bear mode if we come back up to about 2100 or so on the SPX. And let me talk SPY terms since I'm already here. We can get back up to 210 and we don't get over 210, I'm going back into bear mode. Okay, that's just me. Look over here on the right, the left at the daily. See how it's like starting to top out? You dip, come back up, and now you're fading down again. So maybe we come back up to like 207.50 or so and start to head back down, then the trend has changed in my book. Okay. One other thing. All of these moving averages right here have all started to curl down. That's not a good sign. We had a big gap down on Friday, plus we ran even further. So, but look at the 199.26, 50% retracement. Look for that to hold. So we may sell a little bit more on Monday, tomorrow, and then bounce. But right now, Futures are up a little bit. So these are the futures right now. The S&P Mini is sitting at 199,850, so it's up about 6.5 points right now. If we hold that into tomorrow, people may say, oh, that's, might be time to buy and ride it up for a little bit, for a few days. So just wait and see tomorrow. SPX looks just like SPY chart, okay? Yeah, SPX looks just like SPY. Same thing I was saying before. 2116, topped out. Then topped out again at 2105. Then the last time we topped was basically 2077, 2078. So those levels are crucial to me. I think we could bounce back up there again, but I'm watching to see if we bang our head again on resistance rolling into 2016. I don't think we crack 2100 before the end of the year, but anything is possible. So just wait and see what the markets foretell, and we'll take it from there. The other thing is crude. Looking real bad. Okay? Crude is like all-time lows or something. Look at USO. I've had some levels drawn for a long time. Okay? I actually need to replace these levels and just get rid of them because they're not valid anymore. Okay, so crude is still coming down. Now, I want you to see something. Look at this right here. See this big downfall, and you see how those moving averages here have gotten really far apart? Well, they've got to come back together. Okay, when they're far apart like that, they've got to like settle and come back together. See how they all pinched real tight, and then boom, we're back down again. With that said, and even without that, I feel like oil is going to bounce sooner or later. I think it's going to be sooner. If oil does bounce, look at these. These charts that I'm about to show are at crucial support levels, okay? Halliburton. Oil goes down, Halliburton goes down. Look at that support level on Halliburton, okay? Right here, okay? Now this 3093 was a fat finger candle, as we like to call it. But oil really fell down that day, and it could go down that far, just so you know. But I will be looking for oil to bounce, and when oil does bounce, I'm looking at Halliburton and Schlumberger. If oil continues weakness, it could go down to 31, but that's only about $2.50 more, which is a lot in terms of crude. Schlumberger, another good one. Chart looks just like, and I've got some old lines drawn on here that I need to take off, but I like to keep those up there. Schlumberger, same thing. One second. Alright, so Schlumberger is almost at its most critical support. 66.57. Okay? Schlumberger closed at 67.34, so it's not even got a buck to go. Okay, and that's like its most recent big time support. Alright, but you can see it just like fell off a cliff. This is one that I'm actually looking for to maybe get long when oil takes a bounce. And when oil bounces, I do feel like it's going to bounce for a few days. But that's just me. That's pretty much all I have with the energy stocks. I don't have too many of these on my list, but you want to watch some of these bios for like 1 or 2 day trades. IBB is it's the ETF for the bios. It's holding right here and was actually a little bit on the green side compared to where it opened and stuff on Friday. So it was only down 0.63. And usually when when the market is down that much, IBB is dragging. So that's a good sign for me that the biotech stocks, when IBB takes off, I mean, it just held up good, and I really like that. It held those moving averages. I need to make a note. All right. So with that said, These are not on my list right now, but that just reminded me just to take a quick look. BIIB is one that I've had on watch for a while. I've always said that if BIIB can hold this this little area right in here, this one can really push and go back up to the upside. Okay. It tried to break out here, ran up, hit a little bit of resistance right there at that 300 mark. So I'm watching BIIB for whenever this thing gets back over 300. That's my long trigger, but I'll be watching it because 300 is key. Really 305. All right. So I'm just going to set me alert for about 299. That will get my attention, and I may start swinging. Okay, so now I'm going to run through the tickers that I have. Also, in regards to the markets, I'm looking for them to maybe push a little bit lower tomorrow and then start back up. So we just have to wait and see how the market opens, but I think it's time for a green day. We pulled quite hard on Thursday and Friday. So with that said, let me get on into these tickers. First one, QIHU. Love the way this chart looks. Oh, sorry. I drew some fibs today. If you look on the left, that chart is a weekly chart. All right, I had some fibs drawn on that a long time ago. I mean, a trend line drawn on that a long time ago. It got over it. I need to take it off, which I will right now. And the only thing I really have to go on with this one is using fib retracements. The good thing about the fib retracements is a lot of times they fall in on supports, okay? One thing about QIHU, this thing ran from 41.64 back in beginning of September all the way up to 73.28. Do the math. That is a huge gain in less than 6 months. But anyway, it consolidated and then busted out again on Friday. So something about QIHU, I'm going to have to go in and do a little bit more due diligence. But QIHU has just ran, and I need to look at some things to see what's making it run so much. What news was it or something like that. So now I want to see QIHU, which it already did. It got over this first resistance. I would love to see QIHU pull back to maybe the 23% retracement. I don't think it's going to come back too much further than that when it does decide to cool off. So this is one you want to keep on your radars. Let that thing cool off a little bit. But like I said, man, it busted out again on Friday. So this thing is not stopping. Next line of resistance on QIHU. I would like to see this one pull back to that 23% retracement, 65.89. Next resistance is 74.50. You can see that one on the weekly chart. Also, for some reason, I've got 76.70. I know why. Let me go back over here. Look at the weekly. Right there, 74.50. That's your next pretty much resistance. And then the top of the wick on this candle, where the arrow is 76.70. Yeah, 76.70. So those are key levels to really watch going ahead. But look at that weekly on QIHU, man. That thing is something else. So I really like QIHU, one of my main ones. Next one, Google. So I've got a lot of fib lines and moving averages right here. There's one thing that is really piquing my attention right here. My moving averages are based on Fibonacci levels, or Fibonacci lines, that's the shade numbers. So those would be 8, 21, 34, 55, and 89. Anyway, but this is what I like to use on my daily when I'm doing scans. If you look, we've got a 618 retracement. Yeah, 618 retracement, also sitting at one of the moving average lines. For me, I want to see that level hold. Google reverse up back up to the upside can be a nice little play. Okay, Google gets under the 618 level at basically 755, then I would look for 750. You break 750, my next target would be this 746.31. So I like Google if it can hold over 750 if it dips. Otherwise, this one may go ahead and make a nice little move. And yeah, this thing, it fell coming from 780. So man, I mean, if you were to swing this one, you've got right now, I mean, you've got what, 20, 25 bucks you can get? No, sorry, yeah. Yep. All right, next one. Facebook. Facebook has been in big time consolidation mode right through here. Looking at the right on the daily chart, okay? It's down to the third moving average, which is the 34 EMA. It may pull on down towards 100 if it decides it wants to pull a little bit more. I'm long Facebook deep into next year, so I think I've got a February position and a January position. So I'm really looking for Facebook to bust a move and run if we can get this like rally in the market that I so hope we get. Anyway, that's the thing on Facebook. Next stop would be about 102.50 if it decides it wants to break on down even more. Otherwise, Facebook has plenty of room to run. I mean, its next all-time high is 110.65, so watch your Facebook on that. If you get up under the 104, 103.50, you may run on down to 101, 102. I kind of doubt that'll happen, but anything can happen. So that's Facebook. Next one that showed up as a super trending stock on one of my scans. This is like the best of the trends. This trend is pretty much reversed. It wasn't a clear uptrend, as you can see on the left for the weekly. Topped out at 43.16 right here, and then it just kept coming back down, and here, and here. One thing about this one, looking at the weekly, that thing is at some serious support. I personally would look for this one to bounce, okay? The other thing is that the 1, 2, 3, I mean, it had ugly volume on this downtrend, okay? And so it is down 3 weeks in a row. I feel like it's about time for this one to bust a move back to the upside. And when I say bust a move back to the upside, I want to see 34. Yeah, I want to see pretty much the 34.50 hold, and then this one might turn into a decent little swing back to the upside. But then again, I wouldn't swing this one too long to the upside. Maybe for 3, maybe 4 bucks. I'd be looking more so at 3 if you got a good entry. But to me, this one is back into a downtrend. So if it pulls back up to like say 38 and the overall market is bearish, I think this one's going to be really good. But I'm looking at a couple of other indicators. Look like this one might be getting ready for a decent little bounce. So I like it for a bounce first, as long as 34.50 holds. If it does, look for this one to get a nice little bounce, and then I'd probably get back short on it again. All right, that's my take on FAF. Next one, SCTY. Cats were all over this one for a while. The thing I like about SCTY, all right, for those of you trying to play these options, this one is a good candidate for selling premium. And when you're selling premium, you don't necessarily have to be correct so far as direction, okay? The reason I say it's very good for selling premium, it's got a high IV percentile. That is not IV rank, which is in most of your trading platforms. This is a code. I paid for it, but I think it's like for free out there now. But I use this to determine whether I sell premium or whether I buy premium. Okay, and on this one, you do good, I think, by selling maybe the 65s, like a 65.70 or something like that. If you have any questions about how to sell and collect premium, which is actually pretty easy, shoot me an email or send me a direct message or hit me on Twitter or something. and we'll find a way to connect, and I will explain that to you. But I really like this one, selling premium, because it's ran up. It seems like it's topping out up in this area. So I just want to see, you know, if it runs a little bit more, because I would sell something up here over like a week out, okay, up around the 65 level, and try to collect me a little bit of premium without worrying if it like shoots a little bit higher, okay. But that thing has been on a tear. I do feel like it needs to cool off here pretty soon. And this weekly chart, man, this week it's just been insane. It's been going up even when the market's been down, okay. But as you can see, it couldn't get over Thursday's high. It touched it, matched it, but it couldn't get over there. All right, so that is SCTY. Looks good for some premium selling. So just keep that one on your radar. Next ticker, Amazon. All right, Amazon touched some support on the weekly. Okay, look on the left, you see the weekly, the 38% retracement. Okay, I will be posting a video on how to draw basic Fibonacci's, and you'll see how well they work. So it held it on the weekly. All right, I would like to see Amazon pull back a little bit more. Okay, it might not pull, it might just take off tomorrow. But if Amazon could ever come back to like 650, 640, man, I'd take some for the long term on it. You're going to have a few stocks that are going to buck the market trend, and I do think Amazon and Netflix are some of those. So that's my take on Amazon. I'd like to see it pull back a little bit more. It's sitting at 664, pretty much 20 bucks from the all-time highs. So like I said, a little hard for me to buy Amazon for a swing right here. I'd like to see it come on back to 650 first. May not happen, but that's my take on Amazon. The next one, ULTA. And once again, if you have any questions, just type them in the general chat for me, or direct message me if you don't want anybody to know who's asking the question, because I do have the chat room open on another computer. So here's ULTA. ULTA, a strong trending stock. Strong trending stock. Many of us have talked about this one for a while. So now I'm going to zoom in. So I've got some shorter and some longer term trend lines drawn. ULTA beat earnings. So I had to, this fib is from this last gap up and run. The first green line is from a different fib. So right now, I mean, it just pulled back to the 80 MA. I mean, the thing was just like way out there. I would love for it to pull back to the 21. Man, that would be golden for me if I could get ULTA at 180. So I'm going to watch that one. It's got a doji candle on Friday, a little bit of indecision. But looking at how the market fell, then looking at ULTA, ULTA was only down 50 cents. I mean, we're talking about a $185 stock. 50 cents is nothing. I mean, it didn't even move a buck. Okay? So something tells me ULTA may not pull back too much further. I could be wrong, but I would love for it to pull back a little bit more and try to get long in this one. This is one that you take out uber long term. You can buy the stock, or you can buy some longer term options, leaving room to add. Okay, that's how you swing a longer term stock and use the leverage for that. Now, when you are swinging, you don't buy everything at the same strike. Okay, you want to buy some that are a little bit deeper in the money, at least a couple of strikes in the money, with like a delta of 70 or better. Okay, those you don't get tore up too much when it dips, and you get, you know, almost a dollar move on it, dollar for dollar. So I'll explain that one a little bit later as well, about where to choose your strikes. Kevin also has some good videos on that as well. All right, so that's ULTA. I'd like for this one to pull back, but I mean, I may just go ahead and start in on it and see, you know, may add to the position later. DY, next one. Another good swinger, long-term uptrend. Right now I'm looking at DY as a buying opportunity. Now, getting a little iffy getting under this 89 EMA. So I'm going to see if it can hold that. Give me a good green close. DY. I really like this one for a good swinger. And as you can see, it's pretty much at a nice support right there. So I want to see DY hold 75. If it doesn't hold 75, you may look for your next buying opportunity around 71, 72 area to get long on DY. Okay, so just watch DY, but man, DY is just a super strong trending stock. It meets the scan criteria. I've had it on watch for a long time. I've played it a couple of times. DY has always done pretty good, and it's also at the top of IBD's list. It's like in their top 20. Okay, so that's DY. Next, SBUX, another good one with a strong trend, or has had a good strong trend. Man, I can't type. The reason I really like SBUX is because it is sitting, and I've already got my notes on this one, it is sitting on major fib support at the 618. When the market bounces, I have a strong feeling SBUX is going to make a nice little run, okay? As you can see, once again, it got over here to 64. See how those moving averages fanned out? And now they've come back, gotten tighter again, okay? Looks like SBUX, if the market takes off, SBUX is going to take off with it. That's my take on it. It's holding a very important fib support to 618, which is called the golden ratio. You hold that and it reverses back up. This one could be real nice. So it's like one of the top ones on my list. So that's SBUX. LMT. I got a little roasted on LMT on my last trade. I had a butterfly on it. The market tanked and it just like killed my butterfly. But the other thing about LMT is that it's sitting at some crucial support, meaning just basic support right there. Also, it's at the bottom of that last moving average. If you hold it, you reverse back up and you got a lot of upside that can go. So what I did with LMT, I took either $5 wides or $10 wides butterfly, man, like end of January. So, and I've only, in 220 is my body, so I got that one dirt cheap. So that one can make some nice profits as long as LMT comes back up. But I got a strong feeling that if the market turns into bearish, you're gonna have a whole lot of stocks to follow the market. So that's my take on LMT. It's at crucial support. I like LMT to like bounce with the market. Okay, it fell with the market. I think it's gonna bounce with the market. That's Lockheed Martin. Next, Priceline. Priceline has held some trendline support that I've had drawn right there. Okay, if Priceline decides it wants to keep on pulling, it's at 1285. It could come back to that trend line at about 1275, maybe 1270. I'd look for that to hold. If it doesn't hold, man, this thing could go on back down to about 1250, which would be the 618. I'm sorry. Yeah, that would be one of the other retracements. I can't see that because I got my lines drawn too big. Yeah, I've got this one drawn backwards because I was looking at it on the bounce side. But this line here should be the 618. You pull back down in there, you need to look for a real good bounce because that's the golden ratio line. So that's my take on Priceline. Priceline moves a lot. It's a difficult stock to trade because it's very thin. When you're right on Priceline, you're really right and you will make a very nice return. When you're wrong, you will get your ass eaten up real quick. Okay, so that's Priceline. Gotta love it, but you can hate it. And actually, guys, that's all I have. Are there any questions Oh, one other stock I wanted to flip through. I didn't put it on my list. I try not to have too many in the same sector, but I've got a lot of tech stocks. I know a lot of cats in the chat room play tech stocks. So two of them I need to cover real fast are Netflix and Apple. Let me just go ahead and get rid of this. Netflix is ugly. I do feel like when it bounces, it's going to bounce good. Just like I feel the same with Apple. But now I just noticed something. I want you to see something right here. Let's go to the weekly. See these right here? That's support. Alright? Netflix is sitting at support on the weekly chart. Okay? I think Netflix is going to bounce, and when it bounces, it's going to continue its uptrend. Just like I feel about Facebook. Okay? So the weeklies will, from a swing perspective, the weeklies always give you the best view as well as monthly charts. Okay, so you can go monthly, weekly, daily. Me, for the shorter time swings, I usually like to use the weeklies and the dailies. Okay, along with these moving averages. So if Netflix does decide to pull a little bit more, watch the 115, 116 level to hold. Otherwise, if that thing reverses, you're sitting at 118 now. I feel like this thing could really rally. So if we get a nice rally in the markets to begin the year, look at some of these names that I've mentioned right here. So Netflix is another one. Last but not least, Apple. Apple was ugly. You busted some serious support. I do feel like Apple is in a downtrend overall. That's just bad, man. To hit 106 on Apple is just ugly. The next one is what we call a fib extension. Okay, slash projection, I like to call it. So did the fibs right here. Okay, from this swing low to that swing high. All right. This is project where it could fall if it ever breaks that support again. Okay, it broke it. All right, next stop fib wise is 103 basically, and maybe like 97. Okay, we get into a bear market, man. I just don't like Apple to the upside. I just feel like Apple has come down quite a bit. One second. On the weekly, you've got support at 105. All right. Same thing I said over here. Watch the 105 level to hold if Apple dips. If it busts the 105, which is a support level on the weekly, pretty much, look for the 102.72. Next up after that, 97. So that's all I've got, guys. I'm going to render this, upload it. You can follow me on Twitter at Moneyflip. That's with 2 P's. Moneyflip with 2 P's at Twitter. That's where I'm posting all my news. So instead of me posting it in 2 different places, I just post it on my Twitter feed. You guys can follow it there. Anyway, good luck. Happy trading. Any questions, shoot me a direct message or an email. See you guys in chat tomorrow. Peace.